Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 24-hour readathon challenge in honor of my 24th birthday. So I've been thinking about doing this video in my brain for a while. Did I want to do it? Did I not want to do it? Because everyone does 24-hour readathons, reading videos, reading challenges, all of that. 24 is just like the magic number, and it's my 24th birthday, so I thought it would be the perfect time to do it. Now, I'm not going to do 24 hours through the night. I honestly don't know if I will ever do that. Maybe eventually, if you guys really want it, I will try it out. But my plan is pretty much just to read 24 hours as soon as I possibly can. I've done this before a few months back, and you guys really liked this video. I liked making it. It was really fun, but it did take me over a week. I think it took me 8 days to get 24 hours of reading in. But in this video, I'm going to try and get it done in 3 days for a little added boost and challenge, because there's also 3 days left of July. So if I can get all of it done by July, I'll probably get 5 more books in for the month of July, which would just be awesome. So that is the plan, and pretty much how I'm going to do it is start the timer and stop the timer every time I pick up a book and read, and do that until I get to 24 hours. So hopefully I can do 8 hours every day for the next 3 days. And yeah, that is the plan. And the reason why I decided to actually do it is because I'm in such a good reading mood. If you guys have watched my previous video, which is trying to get out of a book slump, I have had a difficult road the past couple of months, but right now I am so into it. Last night I binged a book so much. I stayed up till 2 a.m. because I couldn't stop reading it. And the book is so good. It is one of my favorite books of the year, and I'm about to finish it right now. I have 30% left, and I'm just in such a good mood. I'm so excited to read the book. I'm so happy about reading that I thought it would be a perfect time to do this readathon, and I don't know, I'm just motivated to do it. I want to read. I want to share with you guys. I want to, the vibe. I just want to do this. So we're going to do it. And the book that I'm about to read and that has motivated me to do this challenge is Play Along by Liz Tomford. It is the 4th book in the Windy City series. I love the Windy City series. The 2nd and 3rd books have both been 5 stars for me. The 3rd book is called Caught Up, and that is one of my 10 5 stars of 2024 so far, and I've read 70 books, so it is quite high praise that I give it 5 stars. It's definitely my favorite romance of the year, and now that I'm reading Play Along, the 4th book, I'm oh my gosh, I totally know why. I kind of forget how good the series is, and then I get back into it, and I'm oh my god, it is so good. The way that she has me swooning over this man, and she puts all the perfect little moments and details that make me just so obsessed with the couple. I'm feeling the love. I'm loving them as a couple. I'm feeling butterflies in my stomach. It is just such good romance book writing. It's phenomenal. So I'm gonna read that to kick off this challenge, and honestly I don't want to talk too much anymore because I just want to get right to it. Okay, and since this is going to be a lot of books in this video, I'm not going to talk about each one too much just because I feel the videos get really long that way. So for most of these books, I'm going to keep things short and brief. If you guys want my more detailed thoughts and opinions, they will always be in my reading wrap-ups. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it, getting my Kindle started, and I will get my timer up. Okay, we are ready to go. It says that my book has 1 hour and 36 minutes left, so I'll just check in with you guys when that is done and give you guys a little quick thought on the book, and then I'll probably pick another book and keep on reading for the afternoon. So let's get this started. I honestly can't believe I'm doing this, but we're doing it. We're already started the timer. Okay, I just finished that book, Play Along, and I have been reading for 1 hour and 26 minutes, so almost 1 hour and a half. And I realized that I didn't tell you guys what that book is about. If you don't know, the Windy City series, which it is the 4th book in, is about a bunch of professional athletes in Chicago. So they follow a whole bunch, they follow hockey players, baseball players, basketball players. This is the 2nd baseball player, and the whole trope of the romance is that he has been pretty much obsessed with the athletic trainer for a few years now. She is a female athletic trainer, and one day they get accidentally married in Vegas, or not accidentally, but drunkenly married in Vegas. And so the rest of the book is a fake marriage trope, and it is just so stinking good. Liz Tomford writes amazing romance books. I don't think she has any other besides the Windy City series, but I would literally read anything she writes. She does every trope so well. All of her books I love. If you have not read this series, give it a shot, because I'm a harsh critic of romance books. I think this is only my 2nd 5-star romance book of the year, and the other one was the other book by her. So all's to say, I highly, highly, highly recommend. I finished that book in less than not less than 12 hours, but less than 24 hours, so I loved it. Now I'm gonna move on to my next book. I'm feeling still something like Kindle Unlimited-esque, maybe a single parent romance, maybe a sports romance, maybe an accidental pregnancy romance. Those are some of my favorite tropes. I love a fake marriage, so I'm gonna do some looking. I'm gonna look on TikTok, you know, try and find something that I wanna read, and I'm gonna try and not look for too long, maybe like 15 minutes, and then decide on something and update you guys on what I decide to read. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going with the Kindle theme because I'm liking those books at the moment. Okay, I found a book that I think I'm gonna try. It's called Iced by Bella Matthews. I'll put it right here too. And it says it's like a hockey romance with a nanny, single dad, you know, that kind of trope. Hot single dad hockey player with the nanny. I'm gonna guess they fall in love. There's gonna be a cute baby involved. And what I always like to do is I'm gonna read a little bit of this, and then I never know with like Kindle Unlimited romance books if it's gonna be a book I'm gonna like, but by that first like chapter or two, I'll know if I don't like the writing or if I'm not gonna like the storyline. So we're gonna give it a go for like a chapter or two and then really decide if I'm gonna stick it out, because sometimes I just back out real quickly and don't even give the book more of a chance because sometimes the writing is just, it's not good enough for me, or not good enough, but it's just not what I'm looking for. So we're gonna test this out. Hopefully it works because it sounds good. Okay, I'm only a chapter in and I think I'm into it. So I am gonna keep going with this for now, but I'm gonna go on a walk and then get back into it a little bit more later. Okay, update you guys. I probably did like an hour more of reading and I'm just gonna read for the rest of the night, and I probably won't talk to you again, maybe right before I go to bed, but I am liking the book. I'm definitely gonna continue with it. It's your classic single dad nanny kind of trope. It has all the right things, you know, all the cute vibes I'm looking for. There's already some tension between them, little crushes forming. My one complaint is that I do think it could be a little bit insta-lovey and like super quick, but it is a short book, so you know, that's to be expected. And so far I'm definitely liking it. Very cute, good vibes so far, and it's kind of giving me everything I was looking for. So I feel like that's gonna be an easy few hours of my reading checked off with this one. Hey guys, so we are back in the same spot as yesterday, except it is the next day. It's early, 10:25, and my whole idea for the day is to read as much as possible. Like, I'm dedicating majority of my day to it. I'm not doing much for work or anything like that, so I'm very excited for my day of chilling. Also, I'm just trying to find some good lighting. But yesterday didn't go as planned. I think I got to 3 hours of reading, but essentially I was reading that Kindle Unlimited book that I was talking to you guys last time, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. It got too cringe, the writing got bad, blah, 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 whatever usually happens to me. So I did start another Kindle Unlimited book, but I think I actually have to pay for it, but it's a Kindle book, Kindle romance, and I started it, but I was pretty tired last night, so I sort of fell asleep reading it, and I don't know how it's gonna go, so my plan is to give it another go, maybe for an hour, and then if it's not good, if this Kindle book is not up to my standards, I'm not liking it, I'm just gonna ditch the Kindle and go to full-on reading regular books for now, because I never have the problem of like not liking the writing or it being too cringe if it's not Kindle. So that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try this book and see if I like it. And then if not, I'll switch. But also, even if I don't like the book and I don't finish the book, I'm still counting it towards my 24 hours. So that's the plan. Hey guys, so as you saw in all of my previous clips, I did a lot of reading today. It is now 9 p.m. So I think like almost 12 hours since I last spoke to you, and I'm almost at 8 hours. So I've done 5 hours of reading today because I started at 3 hours, and I started and finished this book. I don't even think I've said anything about this yet. It is a mystery thriller. It is short and sweet, not actually sweet, but it's like the perfect length of a thriller. I've never read such a perfectly lengthed thriller. I always hate when they drag on a little bit too long, but this was perfect. It was 250 pages. It was also great for this video because I was never bored once. I was on the edge of my seat. I was reading, wanting to know what happened. It was exciting from the beginning, all the good stuff in a thriller. I've read one other book by this author, A.R. Torr, and I really loved that one too, so I'm definitely gonna read more of her books. I feel like they are just the perfect easy thrillers. And this essentially follows a psychiatrist and a defense attorney as they work to solve a crime. It's a serial killer crime, and one of the victims of the serial killer is the defense attorney's son. So he is working to solve pretty much the murder of his son. And there's a lot more going on in there. There is a lot of interesting dynamics. If you like serial killer, criminal minds stuff, I think you'll really like this book because the psychiatrist part was also really cool. She goes a lot into depth about like the psyche of serial killers, why they do what they do, all that good stuff. But yeah, it was a really good mystery thriller, very like crime aspect. You know how not all mystery thrillers are crime? Like this is very much solving a crime, mystery, and it was good. So I would highly recommend. I don't think I need to go on too much about it. I think it took me like 3 or 4 hours to read, and I really enjoyed it. If you're looking for an easy thriller, I would highly recommend. I think that's all there is to say. There also is a little bit of like a hint of a romance, which is fun in a thriller. So my next move is going to be, I think, to pick back up a Kindle book. I read a good bit of the Kindle romance book I was talking about earlier today, and I think I'm just gonna go back to that rather than starting a new book right now. I wanna read for 2 more hours to get myself to 10 hours for the day. It's 9 o'clock, so I guess I'm just gonna do that. Like, I'm just gonna read until I get to that point, which might be 11, might be midnight. Hopefully it's before midnight because I don't want to go to bed past midnight, but that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get to 10 hours, and I'm also thinking that this video is gonna take longer than I thought it would because we've already done it for 2 days, so I don't see myself reading for 12 hours tomorrow unless I have a fantastic day of reading, which I might, but it might have to be more like 4 days, which is still better than the last time I did this challenge. So we will see, but that is my update. And I'll talk to you guys about the Kindle Unlimited book or the Kindle romance book. I keep saying that, but I'll talk to you guys about, I keep mixing that up, but I'll talk to you guys about that when I finish it. Or yeah, probably when I finish it. Okay, goodbye. I'm gonna get back to reading. Hello, good morning. It is the next day. Where I last left off, I was telling you that I was gonna read for 10 hours, and we got pretty close. I'm at 9 hours and 48 minutes, 41 seconds, and I feel like all of my thoughts were very jumbled yesterday with my Kindle book updates. I just feel like I really flip through books on there because sometimes I'm like, don't feel like this one, don't feel like this one, and I miss them around and whatever. Pretty much I feel like I read from like 3 or 4 different books yesterday, and the one book that I read from start to finish yesterday was The Rebound by Kendall Ryan. I loved this book. I actually reread this book. It is kind of like a comfort read for me. I read it last year. It is an accidental pregnancy romance where she is dumped by her boyfriend and she moves into her older brother's apartment building, and her older brother is on a professional hockey team, and another player on his team lives in the building as well, and that player, his name is Saint, ends up forming a friendship with the girl. Her name is, what's her name? I'm forgetting her name. I'm totally blanking on her name. Oh, Kennedy, I think is her name. And Saint forms a friendship with Kennedy, starts helping her move into the apartment, helping her do things, and she's like 8 months pregnant at this point. And they kind of form a friendship, and it becomes more, fall in love, lots of cutesy moments, and I love a pregnancy romance. If you love that as well, try this one. It is one of my all-time favorites. Like I said, I've read it before. It is super short, kind of like a novella, and my only complaint about it is that it's not long enough. Like I said that the first time I read it, I loved it so much. It's one of my favorites of all time. Short, sweet, perfect for this type of video too, because I just totally binge read it, and it's like a comfort read for me. I actually feel like I might reread another book that I love in this video just because they're easy for me to get through. I know I like them, I know they're enjoyable, but that's kind of looking ahead too much in the future. So pretty much I've read 2 books so far. I've read The Rebound and I've read The Good Lie, and now I'm going to start This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. It's like a good summer romance. I don't know really anything else about it besides that, and my plan is pretty much to read this and don't do anything until I stop. So let's see how long that takes me. We'll see how successful I am with this goal, but I'm in the mood for this, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm pretty much gonna read nonstop today until I finish this book. That's my goal. And then I think I'll update you guys at that point, or if I have some thoughts on this book. Also, it is raining in my little like screened-in porch room, which is just the perfect reading vibes. I'm so excited that I've blocked out these 2 days to pretty much just read all day long. Okay, time for a little update. I just hit 12 hours, so we are halfway through. I will say time is going a little slower than I thought. Like, I can't believe I have to do another of this, like double of this, but whatever. I'm on page 192 of this book, and it's like not the best. I'm kind of feeling a little bit bored in the book. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. I just often feel this way about romance books. Like, I get bored unless there's a specific trope I love, or it's just written in a way that gives me butterflies, like how I was saying Play Along, the first book that I was talking about in this video, did. Like, this book is just not doing that for me. Like, generally I like it, but I'm a little bored, and it's kind of making it hard to do this challenge. So I think that I'm going to take a break and choose another book for a little bit. I will definitely finish this book today, but I want a little bit of a break from it because, like I said, I'm not like obsessed with it. And pretty much the storyline is that we are following Felix and I always forget someone's name. Felix and Lucy. Felix is Lucy's best friend's younger brother, and Lucy and Felix had hooked up with each other like 5 years ago on Prince Edward Island, which is an island off of Canada, like Atlantic Canada, which I've actually never heard of before. It sounds lovely. I do love in these books how I get to like explore new places, new like coastal towns, beach towns, things like that. I really love the vibes of the town, and just the summer vibes are really perfect. They make me want to go out and do a bunch of summer things. So that is what I'm loving about this book. But pretty much they hooked up a couple years ago when Lucy was visiting home with her friend. What's her friend's name? Felix's sister, Bridget. But Bridget has this rule that she doesn't want Felix and Lucy to fall in love. So Bridget doesn't know that Lucy and Felix hooked up all those years ago. And I also think that they've hooked up like every time they've seen each other. And pretty much the story is being told in flashbacks throughout all the times they've gone to PEI, Prince Edward's Island, and all the moments between Felix and Lucy, and then also present day, where it is like 10 days before Bridget's wedding, and they are back in PEI because Bridget is going through something. She's kind of panicking about the wedding, I think. We haven't really figured out what she's panicking about yet, but that's pretty much the deal. And Lucy and Felix are like trying to stay away from each other, but they have this chemistry, and you know, they have crushes on each other, they love each other, blah, 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 blah. And that's the vibe. So like I said, I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it, so I'm going to take a break for now, I think. You guys, I just had potentially the best idea ever. The Mindfuck series, the Mind F series, I don't know if I can say that, but I was looking around my house, looking at the books I brought home with me, looking at the books that my mom had on her shelves, and I saw this. Now, you might be thinking, my mom had that? Well, actually, I gave it to my sister for Christmas, and she must have read it and given it to my mom. I don't know. But I feel like this could be the bingeable book that I need for a little bit of a switch up, because this is about serial killers. It's a romance between serial killers. There's murder, I think. I think it'll be spicy. I feel like it'll be the opposite of boring. So I'm going to give this a go. And the good thing is it looks like a huge book, but it's like 5 books in one, I believe this is. So like I'll read the first book. If I don't like it, I'll just stop. But if I do like it, I can read this whole thing. And I feel like that'd be a great way to continue this challenge and get through the challenge. So I think this is what I'm going to next. This is what I'm going to do right now. I just had a little break for lunch, 2 hours on the clock so far for today. And I think I'm just going to get into this and see if I like it, because this has good potential. This is really good potential. I was thinking I'd pick up a thriller, but this is kind of, you know, thriller-ish, I believe. I don't really know, but I will report back. This is what I'm doing for now. Okay, reading update, you guys. It is 6:21 and I have read 13 hours and 16 minutes. So somehow we are so slow moving. I've just read over 3 hours today and it felt like all I did was read. So I don't know what's going on with that. I think I've decided that next time I try this challenge, I'm just gonna do 2 12-hour chunks, like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 2 days in a row, and see how much I can read in there, because the timing it to the exact hour just takes so freaking long. Like, I'm not sure yet, and I don't think I will, but there's a possibility that I fail this challenge. because my boyfriend and my sister's boyfriend is coming in tomorrow, or my sister and her boyfriend are coming in tomorrow. My boyfriend comes the next day, and I just feel like all my birthday festivities are gonna start happening and I'm not gonna wanna read as much or film this video. So I don't know, I might be able to finish it, but I might not. I could just end up dragging it out for a lot longer than I thought I would. I don't know what I'll decide to do, but pretty much this is a lot harder than I thought, or it's taking a longer time than I thought. So I've read 3 hours and 16 minutes today. I almost finished the first little book in here. I'm on page 100, no, I'm on page 92 of like 120 or something. So my first step tonight is going to be to finish this first book, and then I don't think I'm gonna continue to read on because I'm not loving it. It was like fun at first and like fun and flirty, but then it kind of got cringy and I felt like they were like falling in love too fast. It just like some things weren't adding up. So pretty much she is a serial killer and he is an FBI agent, and they are falling in love with each other, or they're starting to date, and he doesn't know that she's a serial killer, but she knows that he's an FBI agent, and he's also working on a case that she is doing the murdering of. So that is why it's like kind of fun, like different and unique. And I was liking it. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then it, like I said, it got cringy. She started like giving him advice about murdering and like not murdering, about solving murders, and like started analyzing criminals, and he started giving her information on his case, like let her look at his case. And I was like, this is just too far-fetched. Like this is just, it wouldn't happen. It's weird. How does she know about murders? Like, how would that make any sense? So, or not, of course it makes sense that she knows, but why would he think that her knowing about murders makes sense? I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit, but pretty much this is starting to cringe me out. So I am going to finish it because it's only 30 pages, but then I'm going to stop. And I'm probably going to go back to the book that I was reading all morning, every summer after. I'm not liking that one either. So that's probably why this day is dragging, but I'm so close to finishing that, and it's the last day of July, so I want to finish it for the month of July. Or I don't think I'm doing a July reading wrap up this month, so I don't even think it matters. Yeah, it might not matter. So I might just finish this book and then switch gears and do something totally different. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I feel like I had something else to say, but I'm forgetting it. So I think that's it for now. I'm not gonna stay up as late tonight, so I probably will only get another 2 hours in, 3 hours in tonight. So yeah, this time is going very slow. Very, very slow. So see you guys later. Good morning, you guys. It is a gorgeous day. It is like 6:30 a.m. on Thursday, which means we have reached the 4th day. And my initial plan, if you watched my intro and everything, was to hopefully do this 24 hours in 3 days, which didn't happen. I'm clearly like, I was clearly not aware of how long this would take me. I was a little delusional because I've read, I think, for 15 hours. So it is time to really try and get this clock down. So I think that I'm going to start using an audiobook today to help me with the hours. Initially, I didn't want to do that just because I know that listening to an audiobook is reading, but I really wanted to challenge myself to physically read for 24 hours. But I just think that I'll give up if I do that. So I'm going to do an audiobook to hopefully get some of the hours done, because I love to go on walks. And I feel like I could do a bunch of walks over the next 2 days and hopefully get it done over the next 2 days. But I think if I didn't use an audiobook, I don't know if I would get this done, and I'd probably give up. And I'm just at a point where I've really thought about giving up, and this is the way that I can push forward. So I'm going to listen to an audiobook this morning on a walk. I think I'm going to try to get an hour done on my walk today. I've been listening to The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, and overall, I'm thinking it's pretty boring so far. I'm not too far into it, maybe a quarter of the way. I don't know, the whole timing thing with audiobooks confuses me, but so far I'm just like, really? This is the book that everyone's talking about? So I'm finding it a little bit boring so far. However, I do remember that the last time I listened to it, there was something like sexy, spicy, interesting happening at the end of the chapter, so maybe it'll pick up from here. If you don't know, it is a thriller, or not really a thriller, it's like a psychological mystery thriller of sort, but it's not really thrilling. Pretty much we are following this silent patient. Her name is Alexius or Alexius, something like that. I'm forgetting because I haven't listened to it in a while. And pretty much people think she murdered her husband. I don't know if she actually did, but ever since that day, she's been silent. She hasn't spoken a single word, and I think it's been like 6 years, and she's like locked in a like a psychiatric hospital or something like that. And then the other character is our psychiatrist. I think he's a psychiatrist. He's some sort of like psychotherapist, something like that. And he decides to go to work in that hospital to pretty much open her up, get her to talk, and figure out the mystery of her. So that's what the book is about, and I'm gonna go listen to it for like an hour on a walk. So I can do this. I'm not giving up. Okay, that was actually such a good move for me to do because that went by so quick, and I'm also really getting into the book. I literally said before that it's boring, but now I'm not bored. Like, I'm getting so much different information from all the different people involved, like what's her name? Alicia, from the psychotherapist is going to talk to her cousin, her brother-in-law, and I'm getting different stories from all people. So now I'm like, what really happened? And when you're finally interested in a thriller mystery, that's when you know it's getting good. So I'm really excited to listen to that throughout my day. But for now, I'm gonna go do a little workout. And then it's back to reading, physically reading for the rest of the day. Okay, so I have been reading for, I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes more like it, but I've passed the 16-hour mark, which means we are 2/3 of the way there. So we are definitely making progress. I'm feeling good today. I feel like yesterday I was feeling negative about this little challenge and a little defeated, but now I'm feeling positive, and I do think that part of that is because I'm reading a good book. I feel like yesterday with the Carly Fortune book, it just wasn't doing it for me, and it's hard to read a book for hours straight if you're not liking it. But this book is something that I just found on Kindle Unlimited last night. It is a single parent romance, and actually both of them are single parents, so the boy and the girl. The boy's name is, why do I always forget their names? Archer. The boy's name is Archer and the girl's name is Willa. She is 20 years old and she is a new single mom to like a 2-month-old. And then Archer is 30 years old, so there's an age gap, and he has 2 sons who are like older, like 6 and 11 or something like that. And they are next door neighbors, and pretty much he is helping her out with the new baby, and she's kind of struggling with some things, being a single mom, being young. She's struggling with some like postpartum depression kind of vibes, and they're becoming friends. He's helping her out, and slowly but surely you can see them like little falling in love, which I'm really loving. I love a single parent romance. I love an accidental pregnancy romance. Those are just super cute for me for some reason. And this one is like really doing a good job at like slowly building it up. They haven't kissed yet. They haven't done anything besides be friends, but it's just like so cute, and all the vibes are perfect for what I like in a romance. I'm 35% of the way through, and I'm just going to keep reading, but I thought I would update you guys on what I'm reading. I don't think I've told the name. It's called The Archer and His Rosebud. Kind of a weird name, but it's a good book, and I'm enjoying myself. So I thought I would check in, but back to reading I go. Also, it is 11 a.m., which is good because I feel like yesterday the reason why it was kind of hard was because I slept in a little bit late because I stayed up the night before reading late. But since I slept in, then I didn't get to reading until like noon yesterday, which kind of just like put me back the whole day. But it is 11 and I've already done like 2 hours of reading, both with the audiobook and physical, so I'm feeling good. And I'm gonna get back to it. Hey guys, it is Friday and it is the 5th day, I think, of me filming this video, and I don't have my phone with me, but we are over the 22-hour mark, which means I have less than 2 hours left to read today, which should be no problem. It's Friday. Like I said, I'm not really working that much. And yesterday I did so much reading. I listened to The Silent Patient probably for like 7 hours yesterday. I don't know. I think I started the day at like 14 hours and I ended at 22, so like 8 hours of reading. But most of it was listening to The Silent Patient. I got to a point where I was very interested in what was going to happen. I will say, I think the last time I was talking to you guys, I was saying there was like a lot of different information being given by everyone, and honestly, that had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, what's gonna happen? But then the reveal and the twist, it was a good twist. I didn't see it coming, or I did see it coming, but like kind of, I think right when you're supposed to be able to guess it, like right when the author is leading you to the guess, I figured it out. And it was definitely shocking. I did not see that coming. It was a good ending, but I don't think the ending was like satisfying for the journey it took me on, because like all of those clues just ended up being nothing. So I was like, this is weird. Like, what's the point of all of those clues? So it was kind of an unsatisfying ending, but it was a shocking ending. Also, I don't know what's up with my camera right now. Sorry about that. I think it's literally so humid out that my camera is like fogging up. Okay, that was crazy. I'm just gonna try and keep this pretty brief so it doesn't happen again. But yeah, I was a little unsatisfied with The Silent Patient. The twist was good, but still a little unsatisfying. And it got less boring towards the end. So I would say it was like somewhere in between a 3 and a 4 rating for me. And then the rest of the day, I read that single parent romance I was talking about on my Kindle. And that is what I will be reading today to finish out the 2 hours. And my camera is blinking at me that I'm running out of space. So I'll give you guys a better update later. Okay. Bye. And that will be like the end of the challenge. Like when I'm done with the 24 hours, I will let you guys know. I'll talk to you guys and I'll wrap everything up. Hey guys, so I am actually back in my apartment now. The whole rest of this video was filmed at home at my parents' house. I was there for a couple of weeks. I may have mentioned that, I don't know. But I do have to come on here and say that I slightly failed this challenge. I got to 22 and a half hours and then I just didn't feel like continuing because I was hanging out with my sister, I was hanging out with her boyfriend, and we were all hanging out by the pool for a couple hours, and I could have read and finished it easily in that time, but they were chatting, we were all having fun, laughing, and I was like, I would rather spend time with them than continue the challenge. And then I just figured that at this point, like, let's give up the challenge, because by the time I would read again is now, and that was Thursday. Today is Wednesday, like a whole week later, because I've been so busy. So pretty much I failed the challenge, except I'm not really gonna consider it a fail because I did read a very long time. I got a lot of books in, I read a lot. So you know what, like it did what it needed to do. It got me reading. I just didn't quite hit the 24-hour mark, but I'm happy with my decision to like hang out and live my life rather than read, because I can always read in my bed alone instead of spending time with my friends and family. So I kind of failed this challenge, but we did read a lot of books, and I have it all written down here because it was kind of a confusing couple of days with everything I was doing. I feel like I was very wishy-washy. You just watched this video, so you know what I read, but still, here is my little recap. So I read Archer and His Rosebud, which is the last book you saw me reading on my Kindle, and actually I only read 90% of that, so I think the first thing I do this afternoon when I'm done with work, or this evening, is to finish that so that I actually check off that book. But I read a lot of that, 90% of it. Then I finished The Silent Patient on audio, and I probably listened to like 50%, 60% of that in this video, so a good chunk of it. Then I did fully read The Good Lie, which was that thriller. I read the first book in the Mindfuck series. I read This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, like 50% or so of that. I don't think I'm gonna continue with it because honestly, it just, like, I wasn't feeling it. If I was reading it in some other scenario where I wasn't doing this challenge, I probably would have pushed through. But I feel like because I jumped around so much, that book was like a full week ago at this point. I'm not going back there. I wasn't even loving it, so like 50% of that. Then The Rebound, which is that novella, the hockey romance novella that I had already read before. I read that again. That is a full book. And then I also finished Play Along by Liz Tomford, which was like 30%. So like the last 30% of that book. I'm looking here and it looks like the only books I fully read from start to finish in this challenge was The Good Lie, the Mindfuck series book 1, and then The Rebound. So we have those 3 solid books, the rest of the partial books that I just mentioned, and then a bunch of books that I tried on Kindle Unlimited and I didn't end up liking, so I just totally ditched them. So that is the recap of what I read in those 22 and a half hours. Like I said, I think throughout this video, the next time I try a 24-hour challenge, I'm not gonna do the timer stopping and starting. I'm just gonna do like 12-hour chunks, like maybe 2 12-hour chunks, and see how much I can read, or a full 24-hour if I'm feeling ambitious. But yeah, that is that. I will say that I have had a very like busy couple of weeks. So I didn't do an August TBR and I didn't do a July reading wrap up. So I think that at the end of August, I'm gonna do a full recap with my August reading and my July reading. So like a double month reading wrap up. So stay tuned for that, where I will give like my more in-depth thoughts of these books. Hopefully they still stay fresh in my brain at that point. But yeah, I think that is it for me for now. I'm just gonna go edit this video and get it up for you guys. I feel like it was quite the journey of a video, very back and forth, very mix and match, very kind of all over the place, but hey, it was kind of a chaotic experience. So next time I do this, I will try and be more like organized. I don't know. This was kind of crazy. It felt kind of crazy doing it. So you know what, you live and you learn. And also, if you do want to see another 24-hour reading like video that I have made one before. That one was way more successful. I did get to 24 hours and I read more like solid books. Like I started a book and I finished it all the way through for the most part. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop babbling on at this point. I think I wrapped everything up enough. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more book content. I'll see you in the next one.